Hey kids, hey lambs, welcome back to the Hey Lamb podcast. It's your host here, Matt, aka Treacle. Catch me on Twitter and Instagram at TreacleTots. Thank you to everyone who's getting behind the podcast. Love you so much, everyone who is over on Instagram at Hey Lamb Podcast, and those of you who are generous enough to buy me a little splash over on buymeacoffee.com/HeyLamb. Guys, I am getting busier and busier with work as we come out of the pandemic, but I really do prioritize this. I love having this time each week where I get to geek out with someone, and I feel like I get to geek out with all of you because everyone that's sliding into my DMs, whether it's at Treacle Talks or Hey Lamb Podcast, I love it. And right now the anticipation is building because Mariah's really quiet right now, and we know what's happening. We know she's going to be, hosing us down with some news and Christmas releases very, very soon. But just before all that happens, I'm loving having just random conversations where we're kind of treading water, not like filling time, but we're kind of, things are about to happen and we are waiting patiently. And I love some of the conversations I'm having with guests here on the podcast and with all of you guys over on social media, because there's just never enough time to talk about Mariah. And today I am very, very happy to welcome back a previous guest, all the way back from episode 14. We have John with us. Hey John, how you doing?
Hello everyone. Hello Matt. How's it going?
I'm good. Welcome back. I had to scroll through and remind myself, oh my gosh, it's been like 4 months because you were episode 14, the remixes reimagined. We just said this before we came on. How has it been 4 months since we were doing this together?
Thank you for having me back. It's been crazy, as you can guess, in the middle of the whole pandemic thing. Now I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm seeing myself in a little bit of a safer place. So yeah, it's been going crazy. All work, still working from home. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing. And now that the restrictions have been lifted a little bit, I'm also a little bit freer to, travel. So I can say I'm in a much better place as opposed to the previous place where we were all locked up in our houses.
Yeah, it has been, that's been a journey as well. Talking to different people in different places. Where were you when we spoke last time? You weren't at home.
I'm still home. I'm here in Athens, Greece.
Were you at home when we spoke last time, or had you been traveling
Yes.
just before?
Yes. I was home. I was in a different room though. I was in the living room because the illumination was better. It was the daytime, I believe. So I thought the sun would be, better. The lightning would be better. But now it's the nighttime, so I'm fully in our artificial lightning and all my records. This is where I'm working. Actually, I'm in front of my work computer right now. So this is where I spend most of my time. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna stay where I am. So I'm in a different place.
I was asking you before we came on again, like the records on the wall look really good, and you explaining, because I was like, I can't see anything here on camera, but you would explain. You just got like little nails in between. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Here we have small nails, and these are mostly Greek singers. I don't even know. Oh. I don't know him. I don't know her. I don't know them. Whatever. So I just bought them for 50 cents each because they are unusable now. So many scratches on them. So they're just there for the decoration. But I love how they look.
Yeah, it's different. I like different sizes and different placement and things. Yeah, I love a little cute vinyl display. I've still got my Mariah vinyl collection just piling up, and I keep promising. I said I was going to do it like April, May, June. I am going to make a video on my YouTube channel going through my entire Mariah vinyl collection, because I went from nothing to quite a lot over the pandemic, and it's just such a big undertaking to go through the entire collection on camera, but I promise I'm going to. But every time I look at that collection, I'm like, oh, it's quite shameful how I'm storing them, because they're just in piles on, like, they're stacked, on shelving. I need to get a cute like box situation or some shelving or something, because I'm not very organized.
Yeah, we are not ready to hang our Mariah records on the wall yet. No. It's too soon, and just because we never will. But speaking of records, by the way, I am in the same situation as you, because I have been collecting for so long, but this whole re-release thing really mixed up my whole economic situation. I'm it just rendered me broke, literally, because I'm not only collecting Mariah, I'm also collecting Kylie, and Kylie has been releasing stuff after stuff, month after month, year after year as well. And now, just this morning, I ordered her re-release of her disco album, so I am literally broke again. So I understand the whole record buying and all that stuff, piling up so quick. So I understand you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I've just got Mariah. People that have got other artists and things. I'm like, oh my gosh! Like I know how much I've spent on Mariah and how much I've got to store. I can only imagine for those of you who are collecting other artists. It's interesting you mentioned
Yeah.
Kylie because just as like I was getting ready for this, I was like scrolling through social media and I only saw a quick headline, but it looks like Kylie has said that she's moving back to Australia after 30 years here in the UK.
Yeah, this is the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. Some
Yeah.
say why should she? She has been living in the UK for almost 30 years, maybe more than that.
Mm.
More than half of her lifetime. So she really has no reason. Maybe this whole COVID thing and she having to spend some time in Australia with her family changed her mind. Who knows? But then again, her boyfriend is in the UK, and I also heard that he is not really planning to move to Australia. So who knows?
Oh, interesting. I only saw a quick little headline, and I'm not a massive Kylie fan. Like, respect her, that's
Oh my
fine.
god.
I know I feel like a bad gay. There are certain people I should like subscribe to and follow and listen to, and I don't, and Kylie's one of them, sadly. But yeah, I like to keep on top of like the headlines and things, and I just saw that before I logged on. So, interesting. I have to catch up on that. Back on episode 14, John, we did the remixes reimagined, and you are a lamb who
He did.
loves a playlist. And we went through your reimagination of the remixes, and that was loads of fun. And I am building more playlists and things, and I'm starting to share them with friends and things because I've always had playlists as like a private thing for me. Like I make a playlist for me, whereas now I'm starting to make playlists and like share them with friends, and we both contribute and things like that. So I am starting to use playlists a little bit more. But today, what we are going to do is to touch on greatest hits. I think it's a topic that I think is really brilliant right now when we are kind of, as I said in the intro, waiting a little bit for like news from Mariah. She's quiet, we know she's busy, we've got a lot of things coming. But whatever she puts out next, it's just adding to this already amazing discography. There's already so many albums, so many records, so many singles, so many music videos, everything. And the greatest hits is a release that I kind of keep coming back to with certain lambs because any artist that has a definitive greatest hits, it's quite a definition of their career. And Mariah's greatest hits came out 2001. Yes, we've had
Mhm.
other compilations and of course number ones and one to infinity, but Mariah Carey greatest hits, it's 20 years old. It's
Yes.
possibly, well, not possibly, it's definitely time at some point for a new interpretation, some kind of update. So this is the kind of stuff that we've been chatting about recently on Instagram, and I would love to hear your thoughts on Mariah's greatest hits, and if I were to invite you to reimagine it or change it, relaunch it, what kind of ideas you have. So where do we begin with this? I feel like this is a big thing.
Well, when this was first released back in 2001, just like you said, I thought it was too early because we already
Yeah.
had number ones 3 years prior to this. So what's the deal now? But then again, she had left Sony and it was something beyond her control. So Sony did this just as a part of her contract. So we all know this.
Yeah.
So I think they did justice mostly because most compilation albums by artists are not really good collections. They are always missing stuff. So many songs are not there. So many unnecessary songs are there. And the ones that are included are not the right edits, not necessarily. The one that Sony did with Mariah is almost perfect. almost. It really has almost everything that we need and in their right shapes. But me being me, of course, was not happy, was not 100% happy with it. So I needed to, change it. Spotify is an amazing thing. I used to do this with my iPods. How long has it been since I had my last iPod? I think it
Oh my
was
gosh,
10 years ago or something. When
a
we
long
had
time.
these, I used to do them on my computer and then uploaded them on my iPod and listened to them like this. But now it's much easier to do such reimaginations, if I may. So thanks to Spotify, I have been doing this kind of things more and more.
Yeah.
So this being said, I also changed a few edits because I'm not quite happy with what's there. As I told you, I think a compilation album should reflect what we heard on the radio and what we saw on the music videos. We don't need tracks taken from the studio albums. A fan already has that. I think it should be a balance between a product that is being advertised for the casual fan and also for the people who have not necessarily bought the artist's records. So to me, it really should have the radio edits. If the remix is used on the music video, then the remix should be used and stuff like this. Greatest hits is not something like this to us because it's as far as I know, it's consisting of only the album versions. So,
It's an interesting point. I've never really looked at it that way before. I don't really get too mad at, well, I suppose I do sometimes. Yeah, it can count. I think these days I'm a bit more chill, especially because you say you can easily just like tweak things. You're like, oh, I don't like that version. I'll do my playlist with my own. But back in the day, when you buy a physical CD, you want to play that CD, and so everything needs to be just right. So if it is a different edit or it's a remix, like when Mariah would put on the remix of Fantasy instead of the regular version, I'd be like, oh, I know you prefer it, but I want, I feel like the original should be there. Sometimes I get like hung up on details like that. I mean, now I'm completely the opposite. I prefer the remix, but I've never thought about it like that, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So
mhm.
where should we begin? What would be the first things? Let's say let's go with Mariah's gonna do like a new greatest hits. Like, how do you think that should be put together? Like, what are we thinking?
Well, I have many different compilations of Mariah, as the case for all of us if we are compiling such stuff ourselves. This one, I was loyal to the editing, the sequencing, and I just put them chronologically. So, of course, we are starting with Vision of Love and Love Takes Time. These are fine because, as far as I'm concerned, the single versions and also the video versions are the same as the album edits. So I just put them here as they were on the Greatest Hits album.
Mm-hmm.
Vision of Love and Love Takes Time are here as they were,
Yeah.
as they are on the original Greatest Hits album, and also the original, self-titled debut. So they are the same.
Yeah.
Not much of a change here. What we have differently in my version is starting with Someday, actually, because just like I said, on the video we saw the 7-inch Jack Swing mix, not the one that we heard on album. Even though Mariah despises, I believe, both versions, to me, Someday is a great song. I love it. I really have no point. I really see no point in hating the song. But of course, she's the owner, she's the composer, writer. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
reasons she has, I respect. But I just love Someday. Whether it's the album version or the remix, I just love everything about Someday. And
Okay.
I also find the video very cute, very sweet. So it's here in its 7-inch Jack Swing mix. It's important for a fan like me because I'm from Turkey, and in Turkey don't have single CDs. We only have the albums. So if you want to have this remix in 2001, you really had no choice but to buy this version of the album, which is not the case. So maybe up until Mariah 30, no one, not let's not say no one, because I bought the CDs, single CDs from eBay, but most Mariah fans, most lambs, and most music listeners didn't really have a chance to listen to Sunday remix
Yeah.
whenever they wanted to.
Again,
So
good
it's
good
here.
point. It's yeah, I didn't realize that it's different in different markets, and yeah, if it's been harder for you there to get these remixes, then something like a greatest hits, like you say, let's have the radio versions, let's have the video versions, because that might be a compilation like this could be the only way for certain lambs to own that. Okay, so we've got Vision of Love, What It
Mm-hmm.
Takes Time, Someday, but the video version.
Mm-hmm.
What next? What are we doing next?
Next is I Don't Wanna Cry, but the problem here is on Spotify we don't have the edit of I Don't Wanna Cry, but I have its edit because I have the single CD, and on the single CD you can find the shortened edit. I'm not a very big fan of I Don't Wanna Cry, so it's okay to have it here on edit. And I also believe
Mm-hmm.
that we heard what we heard on the radio is also the edit version. So on Spotify, I don't have the edit unless I upload my own, MP3 versions, because you can do it actually on Spotify, but
Okay.
you can only listen to it yourself from your own
Yeah,
collection. So
sure.
I didn't really need to have it. So I Don't Wanna Cry is here on
Mm-hmm.
Spotify on its 1990 Mariah Carey album version. Next is, originally I thought, you know what, there's got to be a way it should also be included because it was also released as a single in the UK,
We
but
did get
not
it, yeah.
necessarily in the US. But it's a greatest hits album, so let's be honest, it was not a great hit. So
No, yeah, a
sadly,
greatest hits. Yeah, it can't have every single because this is not a singles collection. It's the greatest hits. We've got to make some cuts. So yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be on the greatest hits back then or now.
yeah, it was not a big hit in the UK, as I said, and it was not even released in the US. So sadly, there's got to be a way, could not make its way to this compilation. But if it did, just like the case with Someday, I would have used the remix version.
Okay.
That's also used in the video. And in another compilation that I did in 2010 for her 20th anniversary in the music business called Mariah 20, I used all the singles, everything, little, small, big, big hit, none heard, whatever, all of them I included. And in that version, There's Got to Be a Way is found in its video remix. So, next is Emotions and Can't Let Go, again in their
Hmm.
album versions. Can't Let Go has an edit, a shortened
Yeah.
one, but I don't use it. And again, it's not available on Spotify. And I'm a huge fan of Can't Let Go. It's one of my favorite songs ever, not only
Yeah.
from Mariah's catalog, but also among all songs. I love Can't Let Go. It has a very special place in my heart. So I just couldn't bring myself to include the edit version. So here it is in all its glory, in its
And
full Emotions album version.
I think that's correct. I mean, part of the beauty of Can't Let Go is the intro. And some of the
Exactly.
magic I think is lost in the edit version. So I like your rule of let's go with the video version, let's go with the radio edit, like the way people were hearing it in the day. But let's bend that rule for Can't Let Go because
Yeah.
you really gotta have that intro. So we're only here. We're still on the second album, but it's time to take a very quick break. When we come back, John, you're going to continue taking us through greatest hits, and I anticipate as we go through, we're going to come up against more and more changes, and we've got to update this collection and get a lot more songs in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. We'll be right back after this. Thanks for listening to Hey Lamb, guys. I hope you are enjoying it. If you are, you can leave me a little tip. You can buy me a drink over on buymeacoffee.com. It is a great way to show your support to your favorite creators by buying them a drink. Simply head over to buymeacoffee.com/heylamb and you can tip me with a little drink. Cheers. And we are back. Okay, carry on for us, John. So we've had emotions and can't let go. What happens next with greatest hits?
Okay, of course, we are including Make It Happen. Make It Happen is also a great song. I'm a big fan, but I believe there is no harm in using the radio edit. So I just put the radio edit here. Thanks to MC30, we have the radio edit. So everywhere it's in its radio edit. Next is I'll Be There, taken from MTV Unplugged EP. I believe on Spotify, it's the one that we can hear Mariah introducing Trey Lawrence. Is it something like this? I'm not sure. Because on the single edits and on compilations, greatest hits versions, we don't have that one, I believe. But here in this one, if I'm not wrong, Mariah is saying Trey Lawrence.
I love that detail because I've heard both versions and I forget where they are and where they live now. That's the thing with digital. Things move and things change and things are on Spotify or Apple Music and then they're not and la da da. So that's a good detail. I don't know. We'll have to investigate.
Yeah, we have to.
I'll be there. It has to be there. Absolutely. It has to be. It has to stay. It has to stay. And I'm looking at the 2001 playlist, and I feel like the next few are going to stay, but let's see what you do with them. Let's see.
Well, I'm a fan of I'll Be There. I like it, but I really would prefer to hear it from Michael Jackson because I'm also a huge MJ fan. Okay, Mariah did a great job with it, but sorry, don't please don't lynch me, but I prefer the original Jackson 5 version.
That's fair.
So the next album, of course, we have is Music Box. I didn't change anything with the Music Box singles because there are not necessarily edits. Some may argue that Anytime You Need a Friend needed here on its remix form, but 2 years later, we will already have it on our The Remixes compilation. So here, let me put it on its album version, Ballad.
Okay.
Edit. The only thing I did was to add Never Forget You as well, because it's an A-side with Without You, and I believe a single should be taken in its full. Never Forget You was the part of that big Without You phenomenon, which is still, I believe, her biggest hit in Europe. So if we are putting Without You here, Never Forget You should also follow. And I put it here in this radio edit, which we also have on Spotify.
That's interesting. That's an interesting choice. I wouldn't have considered Never Forget You making it, but I understand your reasoning. Do you know which version? I wouldn't put this version on, but just a quick sidebar, my definitive version of Never Forget You is the extended one. I love the extended mix, and she doesn't even really get going with the song until like 2 whole minutes in. But it's such a vibe, and that is the version that I play. But not for this greatest hits, not for greatest hits.
If you remember, I included that extended version on the remixes. So
you
did. Here we have the radio edit. Okay, next is I will take some time talking about this one because it's important. All I Want for Christmas Is You, the original Merry Christmas version. So here it is. I really can't believe Mariah didn't, or not Mariah, but Sony didn't include it on this greatest hits. Okay, we know it was not fully released as a single. It just had a promo behavior, but still it was a huge hit on the radio. Everybody loved to listen to the song on holiday, so why not include it? I'm really shocked.
Well, yeah, we did have it as a single. Like we did have UK CD1, CD2. It was released as a single a lot of places, and I think it gets sidelined sometimes because it is a Christmas song, and I do remember in 2001 being a bit confused because at the end of greatest hits, we get the So So Def remix, which was like new. It was only a year old at this point. But yeah, greatest hits. This is a song that defines Mariah's career, especially in the past like 5 years. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And if Mariah were to do an updated version of greatest hits, undoubtedly, All I Want for Christmas Is You has to be on there. So I'm completely agreeing with you.
And this exclusion proves that All I Want for Christmas Is You is actually a new hit. Because back then, even though it was popular among people and on the radio, it really didn't make the impact it is doing now. So
Yeah.
people calling Mariah a Christmas fad and just a Christmas diva, blah, blah, blah. No, it's actually deserving to be treated as a new song because it's a new hit on the radio thanks to Spotify. Also, it's caught the new generation as well, which is a very hard thing for an artist at Mariah's age. So kudos to her for that. This is maybe not included on the original version, but on my version it is definitely taking its place.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, it's had a few little updates, with a couple of new versions along the way, new music videos and things like that. But that's an interesting point you say about it being a new audience. It's a whole new
Exactly.
customer in a way that is,
Yes.
gobbling up this product. So there's all of us that love it for the nostalgic reasons, and then every year it's picking up more people, more people, more people, and the numbers on streaming and downloads and stuff is crazy. So I
Exactly.
am with you. After the music box tracks, we have All I Want. Love it.
I didn't include the other promo singles because first of all we don't have that space. There were also which ones I believe Miss You Most and Joy to the World we have, I believe, also Oh Holy Night as promos, but these were just little promos, so I didn't necessarily need
Yeah.
them here.
No, I agree. I agree. Where do we go after All I Want for Christmas Is You?
Well, we are coming to the end of the first disc. We have Fantasy and One Sweet Day, but also Open Arms, which was released at the end of 1995 in Europe. Okay, maybe if we had the distinction of US version, North American version, and the international version, if we did this, maybe Open Arms as much as, which one was that? Oh, no, okay. Maybe we wouldn't need to have it here, Open Arms here, but it was a good hit on the British radio, if I'm not wrong. You may know it better than I did. But Open Arms is definitely taking its place. It's a great cover. I love the song. So this is here because it was released in 1995, and my first disc is compiling songs from 1990 up until 1995. In the second one, we are going to start the singles released in 1996.
Okay, that is a really good shout. Open Arms was really big in Europe, and I was too young at the time to really feel it or appreciate it. But like looking back, and I do understand it was really big. I do have the 2001 track listing for greatest hits up on my second monitor here, and I do believe, just to backtrack very quickly, All I Want for Christmas Is You was a Japanese bonus track. It's always included on things over there, so we did get
Yes.
it in Japan. I am noticing though that we did not include Endless Love
I forgot
with
it. Sorry.
Luther
Yeah.
Vandross.
Sorry.
Are we? I just want to check we're keeping that. We're not throwing that away because that's a very important one for me. Are we keeping Endless
Oh,
Love
yeah.
on your
No,
version?
we have it here. I promise. I promise. I'm gonna
There's the
show it here.
proof. I
We
can
have
see.
it. Oops, sorry. It's not. Yeah,
You gonna?
I have it here, but it's from the greatest hits, of
Yeah.
course, because we never had it on any Mariah album before.
Yeah,
So
because
here it
I
is.
think there are some songs of hers that they live, that their home is a compilation like this, because it didn't belong to any album, but it was really really
Yep.
important and popular. So I'm glad it's here. Okay, so we have completed CD1,
Yeah.
and now CD2. We're kicking off with 96.
Yes. Before we move on to that, let me tell you that Endless Love is coming after Anytime You Need a Friend and before All I Want for Christmas Is You on my
Yeah.
list. So,
Perfect.
and before we move on, I also want to show the cover I made specifically for this release. I always change the covers as well. And here it is. It's not as iconic, of course, as the one that we have. She's holding a butterfly, and it's a very good symbol of who she is.
Yeah.
But this one I need to do. Okay. So, the second CD is, of course, starting with Always Be My Baby,
Yeah.
1996. Forever, Underneath the Stars. These are all following in their 1995 Daydream album versions.
See,
I didn't
these are
need to change them.
ones. These are ones that I'm like, if we have to make some room for tracks that come later, because after 2001, Mariah has got a good handful of songs that I believe belong on Greatest Hits. And I'm like, we've got to make some room somewhere. We've got to make some room. From Daydream, I definitely need to have Fantasy. I do think we need Open Arms. We absolutely have to have One Sweet Day and Always Be My Baby. I don't know that we need Forever and Underneath the Stars. Forever, I feel like, is kind of like filling in a space we don't need. And Underneath the Stars is for like greatest hits. It's the one I know I love it. It's one of my favorite songs. I know Mariah would really want it there. But the way we've been going, if we're picking like the ones that were the most impactful and the songs that people like, oh yeah, these are Mariah's greatest hits. A lot of people like, what's Forever? Like, oh, what's Underneath the Stars? And so I feel like it's a lot of Daydream. It is a lot, and I feel like we have to be ruthless. And they're ones that I could lose from an updated greatest hits to make room for other songs after 2001. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. When I am doing this, I always try to cram them in one single CD. And a single CD, one CD can hold up songs until 80 minutes. So when I bring them together, all the songs, if they are not exceeding the limit of 80 minutes, I just leave them there. And the case of Underneath the Stars is, we all know it's Mariah's favorite song, one of her favorite songs, and definitely the favorite one on Daydream album. So it's here. I'm not a fan of Forever. I can even exclude it from the album actually for the sake of Slipping Away. If I were the producer, Slipping Away would be there and Forever would be the B-side.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
John,
yeah.
calm down. That's very controversial. I might take it off
Yeah.
greatest hits, but I could not possibly take it off take it off the Daydream album. No.
It reminds me so much of Unchained Melody for some reason. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. No, you're not. You're not wrong. Oh, I know. I know. One Lamb is gonna be mad at you. Tyrone. Tyrone loves Forever.
Sorry.
I'll have to warn
But I,
him.
but I said I would put Sleeping Away. Doesn't it, deserve some kind of appreciation?
Yeah, no, I'd add it in. I wouldn't kick Forever out of the party. I
Okay.
would slipping away in. Okay, okay, all right. And then we get to Butterfly.
Yes, we do. Okay. Forever is here because it was released as a radio single and because Daydream is one of her biggest hits, commercially and also culturally. I wanted to represent it as much as possible, and all the singles of the album, they are here. So next we have Honey and Butterfly in their original album versions again, because they didn't need any edits, and I don't think they have edits as well, so they are here.
Again, I would challenge Butterfly. I think that the two songs that need to be on are Honey and My All. I don't know that
Mm-hmm.
Butterfly needs to be there because it's not a hit. Greatest hits for me, it's like it's if it's like best songs or I don't know. It's something about the word hit for me. It's like the ones that did well on the charts, the one that impacted pop culture and stuff. And I know Butterfly is one of my favorite Mariah songs. It's so symbolic, but was it a hit? I'm like,
It wasn't, because it wasn't commercially released. But then again, let's remember in the inner notes of number ones, she said, one day I'm going to put out a greatest hits album and I will include the songs that were not necessarily released as singles. And she gave, for example, in brackets, She gave the names of Underneath the Stars, Butterfly, uh, Endless Love, and Can't Let Go, some stuff, and also some
Yeah.
singles that didn't go to number one, but in my opinion, much better than some of the songs that did. And she gave the examples of Can't Let Go and Make It Happen. So I'm quite sure she would, if she were in control, she would definitely put Butterfly here. So that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
Underneath the Stars and Butterfly are here.
I guess
Yeah,
it comes down to the interpretation of greatest hits. Is it the
yeah.
commercial hits or is it an artist's best songs? Like if it's Mariah's top 30, then the track listing is probably slightly different. You know, she'd want
Yeah.
The Roof on there, I'm sure as well.
Yes, I'm sure sorry, I'm sure we would also have Close My Eyes if it was in Mariah's hands.
Hmm.
So next, that's why I'm also including Breakdown as a third song,
Ooh.
because she also gave the example of Breakdown in the aforementioned line.
The liner
I'm sorry,
notes.
I'm struggling. Yeah, liner notes in the number ones. She gave the names of Underneath the Stars, Butterfly, and Breakdown. And come on, how can I exclude Breakdown? It's one of my favorite songs ever. But here we have it in the Montag's remix version. So next we have The Roof, of course, in Mob Deep Edit. Here I'm playing with edits a little bit because
Yeah.
I need to have the tracks here in their edited forms, remix forms. I didn't need to include these on the remixes because these are very small changes, very not necessarily very different from their original mixes. But here we have the little edits. I believe the Mob Deep edit is almost identical to the album version. It only has a little bit of a rap section. So here we have it,
Okay.
just like the one on the video, I believe, if I'm not sure, if I'm not wrong. Next, we have My All, again, in its original version. Nothing's changing
Yeah.
here. Next is Sweetheart. Again, you're going to say that it was not a big hit. It was not even released commercially. So why is it here? Well, just because I can, just because I love it. And we also have it on the original version. So I really didn't bring myself to exclude it here.
I like it. I did have the CD single from UK. I liked the dance. It's like
The
Sweetheart the
story,
dance.
the
Yeah,
story.
the story's good. I like the dance. I like that CD single. There was a good like little splatter of remixes there. But again, if I take greatest hits as I interpret it, I would trim this. I would get it off the track listing to make room for later songs. But
Okay.
that's just me. That's just me.
I'm a greedy fag and I want everything that I can have. Sorry, excuse my French.
All right.
So
Where are we
here
going
we have
next?
Sweetheart, When You Believe, and I Still Believe in their number ones album versions. And I really don't think that there were edits to these songs anyway. And who needs to butcher up When You Believe? Come on, who would do that blasphemy? No. And I Still Believe is the song that made me a fan, even though it's a cover. We all know that if Mariah is covering a song, it's her song now.
Mm-hmm.
So I still believe is a very special song for me,
I
and
love it.
surprisingly, it was the biggest hit from number ones, and
Yeah.
I'm having it here in its ballad version, not the remix. We will have the
Oh yeah,
remix
yeah.
on my kind of the remixes, not the original one. Sorry.
I love I Still Believe so much. I remember being obsessed with it. She did the dance remix on Top of the Pops. I just love it so much. All the remixes. Again, I if I had to, as much as I love it, I could possibly cut it just to make room for other songs because I know we're going to run out of space. But I do freaking
All
love
right.
I Still Believe. I love it.
Yes. So you would do a special edit for this compilation, you say?
I just feel like I could, yeah, because we've this only goes up to 2001, and then we've got all the albums, and there are a few songs I need to add, and I'm not going to have space, so I need to create some space. So that's why some of these songs I'm being really ruthless. Like I love Underneath the Stars, I love I Still Believe. These are some of my favorite Mariah songs, but if I take greatest hits and like how I interpret it, then I would have to cut them to make way for things like We Belong Together and Touch My Body, because that those songs would need to go on a new greatest hits. But we'll get
Oh
there.
my God. Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Where do we
Yeah.
go after I Still Believe?
Well, of course, we are moving on to the Rainbow era, which hadn't been released when number one was released. So here we have a very good chance for people who didn't buy Rainbow. I'm not talking about the casual fan, of course. I'm talking about people who wants to explore Mariah's music. So it's a great chance for them to hear Heartbreaker and Thank God I Found You here. I included Thank God I Found You in its album version with Joe and 98 Degrees, not the remix. I'm saving the remixes for the remixes. Okay, next we have.
Are they the only songs from Rainbow that you're having?
No, of course not. I have three more for you. Well,
Three.
three more, yeah. Can't take that away here, but I can include the edit version, which is the shortened
Slightly
intro.
shortened, yeah.
Slightly shortened, yes. That's okay, no problem. But just as the case with Without You Never Forget You, here we have an A side, which is Crybaby. So I have to have it. Crybaby is a very special song for me. And if you remember, because of Sony's policy, Crybaby was the one that had its way on the charts. Not Can't Take That Away. Crybaby was the one that we found on Billboard Hot 100. So here we have Crybaby. Can't Take That Away is also included because it's a very special song for Mariah, and it also symbolizes her struggle against Sony. Mm-hmm. So we have to have it. Even though Sony is the one doing this compilation, if we want to have a Mariah Carey album, this definitely has a place, in my version at least. We also have it on the original 2001 Greatest Hits, I believe.
Yeah.
Not Crybaby, but Can't Take That Away.
Yeah. I would only include Heartbreaker and Thank God I Found You. I adore Can't Take That Away. Mariah's theme is actually my favorite song, period. It's my favorite Mariah song. And I adore Crybaby as well. But my interpretation of Greatest Hits is slightly different, and I think they're for a different album. We've also got Against All Odds on the 2001 release featuring Westlife. It was a bonus track outside of America, so we had the Westlife version. Was Against All Odds the solo version on the US version?
No. Not really. No, we didn't have Against All Odds on the North American version of 2001 Greatest Hits, but in my version, of course, we have it. Even though I prefer the solo Rainbow album version because it's a big hit. It was a huge hit. It was actually her second number one in the UK. That's because of Westlife, of course, largely because they were big. I remember they were also very big in Turkey as well. In whole Europe, I think they were big, but in the UK, they were a phenomenal, weren't they?
It was next level. So, it was absolutely crazy huge. And I agree with you. I prefer the solo version, but I do think for Greatest Hits, the UK version of an updated one, I think you have to keep the Westlife version with that. Listen, we have to take another very quick break, but we are coming to the end of the 2001 track listing, and we've still got albums that happened afterwards, so we need to get to the crux now. What are we going to do past 2001? How are we going to update Greatest Hits? So we will be right back after this quick break. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the 2001 track listing. We've got Against All Odds with Westlife on the UK version, and then there was All I Want for Christmas Is You, So Def remix, and then in Japan they had the Never Too Far Hero medley moment. So how are you finishing up your version? Are you doing things any differently?
Well, I'm not keeping Never Too Far Hero medley because I really think it was something very unnecessary. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the medley. Maybe on live performances it would go well, but releasing as a single didn't really make an impact anyway. So no, keep it in the Japanese version. But I'm
Sure.
definitely keeping All I Want for Christmas Is You So So Def remix because it was a novelty. It was
Yeah.
something new.
It was
So
only a
and
year
it
old.
was, yeah, exactly. It was very. I believe it was commissioned back then in 2001, right? It's a new remix.
Yeah, I think in Japan there's I can picture the cover art. There's All I Want for Christmas Is You 2000, and the remix was
Hmm.
then. So
Ah, 2000, yeah,
when the
true.
greatest hits came out 2001, it was like it was a year old. Um, so I mean, along the way, I've kind of been ruthless. I've been a bit mean and said, "Oh, I could cut that. I could cut that.
Yeah.
I could cut that." Even though I love the songs, the reason being that that took Mariah's greatest hits to 2001. We had Charm Bracelet, we had Emancipation, we had everything afterwards. So I've tried to save a few spots for some like updates. So off the top of your head, if you think about all of the albums and all the singles that we've had since 2001, what do you think is strong enough to go on greatest hits? Let's say Mariah's going to release a new greatest hits next year, just for imagination. What
Hmm.
else would you add on after 2001?
Well, as an answer to this question, I already made a greatest hits album for in place of number one to infinity, actually, because it was her 25th anniversary in the industry. So just one CD, only one single CD, and which is giving us only three more number one hits was not enough for me. So I really needed
Okay.
something better than that. And if only I can find it. I have the CD too, but I can't find the first disc. Give me a moment, please.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'll just off the top of my head, the ones that I'm like have to
Because
be there.
there are some songs that I didn't include, just like you didn't. First
Yeah.
of all, we can't really release as something less than a triple edition in 2022 if we are going to do something like this. Even in 2015 I did myself a bonus disc consisting of 7 songs that I couldn't include on the version or the original version, but here it goes. From Glitter I would definitely include Loverboy. From Charm Bracelet, we really need to represent Charm Bracelet. Even though the singles didn't make an impact on the charts, we really need to include at least one single from that album, and that would be Through the Rain, of course, for me. But I would also include I Know What You Want. Even though it's not necessarily on the original album release, it was included on the bonus disc had that was released as the tour edition in 2003, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
So here it is. From the Emancipation of Mimi, not only the number one singles, but I'm also having It's Like That and Shake It Off. And on the bonus disc that I mentioned, I'm also having Get Your Number because it's one of my favorite singles from the Emancipation of Mimi. If only we had space, I would include Say Something too, but we don't, so I'm skipping it. From E equals MC square, we only have Touch My Body here because it was the only big hit from the album. But on my bonus disc, I'm also giving place to Bye Bye, which was a
Okay.
top 20, still a top 20 hit. From the next one is Memoirs. Well, obviously, we have Obsessed. But on my limited edition bonus disc, I am also giving place to I Want to Know What Love Is
Mm.
because it was a huge hit in Brazil and also did moderately well on American and European charts, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm also adding it. And from Me, I Am Mariah, I am including hashtag beautiful. But it was for the 2015 version only. So if you want to release a new one in 2022, we can also add With You from Caution album, I believe.
Okay. So, again, I'm gonna be stingy. I would the only ones I have to add to greatest hits would be We Belong Together, Touch My Body, and Obsessed. And then also for Emancipation, I could probably would add Shake It Off. And then I'm like, well, you kind of got to add Don't Forget About Us. I feel like it's not as impactful as Shake It Off, but it was a number one. So it kind of needs to be there. So I feel like along the way, I struck off maybe like 5 tracks. So then I'm going to add in like roughly 5 tracks. But it is difficult. I like your idea of it being like a triple CD thing, and maybe at some
Yep.
point in time we will get. I think if Mariah does something, I think it needs to be Mariah Carey, my greatest hits, or Mariah's picks, or something within the title. It can't just be Mariah Carey greatest hits, like update it, because I think it needs to be clear whether it's her choice, like her picks, her personal picks, because then we don't. I mean, we've had enough like just listing all the number ones. It'd be good for her to say this is a collection that goes from the very beginning up to now, and these are my choices, my
Hmm.
personal selection. And then we're going to get Close My Eyes, and we're going to get random moments, and
Definitely.
you know and
Definitely.
and things. I think
Definitely
it's
we would
time.
have all those. And half of the disc would be consisting of non-single album tracks, I believe. Just like you said, Close My Eyes would be there. And what else would be there? I'm not sure. I think
Maybe
from
Vanishing.
Vanishing, and from Charm Bracelet, Subtle Invitation
Yeah, or the
is
one
her
she loved, the one.
the one she loved. Also from maybe other albums. Which ones do we have? I'm not sure which songs she likes from albums after the emancipation of Mimi. We have the singles, obviously. Migrate would be there, I think, because she also likes it, doesn't she? I'm not
She likes
sure
My
about it.
Grey. I think I'm That Chick was like a fun moment.
That chick
I think
also.
she. I think the album's going to be called That Chick or something. At one point, it was rumored. So
Yes, yes,
it would be
it
interesting.
was
I would.
there.
I would love for her to go through and to go. I don't care if it was a single. I don't care. We've done number ones. We've done number ones to infinity. I don't care about that. This is just my picks. It could just be called Mariah's favorites, or greatest hits, Mariah's picks, Mariah's
I would
choice. I
love
don't
that.
know, but yeah, it'd be
I would
really
love
good for
that.
her to reflect on. Maybe it's not even like a physical release. Maybe it is just like a playlist. Maybe she
Yeah,
does a playlist. So if she wants to pick 40 songs, pick 40, but she gives us a playlist. That could have been a fun Spotify moment
exactly.
for MC
That's what I
30.
was. That's what I was thinking now when you said that.
Yeah.
And in 2015, when I commissioned this updated version of Greatest Hits, she hadn't scored her 19th chart topper in the US
Yeah.
yet. So I thought, okay, one disc can be consisting of 18 tracks and the other one as well 18 tracks, so it would be something like 18 number ones against 18 non number ones
Yeah.
singles. So it would be something like this because a CD can roughly include 18 tracks. So in this one, I would include 18 non number one singles. That would be Can't Let Go, Make It Happen, Without You, Anytime You Need a Friend, Endless Love, All I Want for Christmas
Yeah.
Is You, 6. And nothing, non number one from Daydream and Butterfly, but I would definitely have Loverboy,
Hmm.
Through the Rain, I Know What You Want, It's Like That,
Yeah, because they are
Shake It Off,
so strong.
exactly.
So
Shake It Off,
strong.
11th,
It's
and
like the first part is
yeah,
number ones, and then the second part is like should have been.
yeah, exactly. Then we have Obsessed, and then we have Beautiful. All those non-number one things. Then You Believe, I Still Believe. Sorry, I forgot about those. These were also not number one singles. I'm really shocked how When You Believe couldn't even make it to the top 10. It was expected to be the My Heart Will Go On of the year, but somehow it didn't. So I'm sad
Mm,
to see that. But any compilation from both Whitney and Mariah, When You Believe should be
oh
there.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So iconic. We are rapidly running out of time, and I just want to make sure we have got enough time to play, of course, spin, pin, or bin. Here we go, John. It's time. So, a very quick reminder of the rules, and everyone watching on YouTube and listening, we invite you to join in with us. So, I'm going to pick 3 Mariah songs at random. I've got my random generator ready. One has to be spin, one has to be pin, and one is bin. So, spin is love it, keep it, play it right now. Pin is, I'm not sure. And then bin is you never get to hear it again. It gets deleted from all
God.
playlists. You never get to hear it. So here we go. The 3 songs this week are #Beautiful, One More Try, and Almost Home. So we're actually like zoning in like a very specific kind of part of her career. So those are the choices. #Beautiful, One More Try, and Almost Home. You got to spin one, pin one, and bin one.
Wow, I'm lucky because this list includes one of the very few songs from Mariah that I really love, which is a cover of One More Try. I really can't stand it. I'm sorry, Lamps. You may kill me, but I didn't really think she did justice to that song. I'm a huge George Michael fan, and nothing can come closer to his rendition. I'm sorry. So obviously, One More Try is which one is that? Bin?
You're gonna put that in the bin, okay?
Yes. I don't think I ever listened to it ever since I listened to the Me I Am Mariah album specifically. From time to time, I listen to Thirsty, #Beautiful, and You're Mine Eternal from album. I love Me I Am Mariah, but One More Try is heard by me only when I listen to the album in full. So...
Okay, so One More Try is in the bin. That leaves Beautiful and Almost Home. One has to be spin. Which is your favorite of those 2?
I love both of them, but I think I will go with #Beautiful for spin.
Okay. So I'm agreeing with you on spin. I think #Beautiful is really funky. It was fresh. I wish it did more on the charts at the time. I am going to spin that. I'm going to pin One More Try because I do think the vocals are a bit overproduced and there's some things there that I don't love about it, but ultimately I do still really like it, and I do like softly love it, and I do like Almost Home, but on this occasion it's going to go very delicately in the bin.
Mariah didn't like it that much anyway, right?
Well, she said retrospectively, that she wasn't really feeling it. I do enjoy it, but I'm going to put it in the bin. Guys, let us know what you would do with Beautiful, One More Try, and Almost Home. And that hour has just flown by, John. I'm going to keep you on for just a little bit longer. Guys, join John and I over on the after show. Extra chop, those of you who are supporting my YouTube channel and you are members, you get the after show each and every week. So John and I are going to carry on chatting there. If you're not following John on social media, go and get him over on Instagram. It is at Mr.BeardedPenguin. Freaking love that handle so much. John, thank you so much. It's always fun chatting with you about playlists and things, and we will carry on chatting a little bit longer over on the after show. But thank you so much for joining me again.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.